Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary. Today's video is going to be my vlog for the X's and O's readathon. So I don't have time to do a full run through of the books that I'm planning on reading for this vlog, but I did post a TBR that I will link for you that is timestamped so you can look at what I'm planning on reading for each of these prompts. I'm not really picking a team. I'm just sort of reading what I can read. I think I have 8 or 9 books on my TBR, and there are 5 days to this readathon, so it goes through February 1st through the 5th. Today's the 1st, so I'm starting it off. I do have to go to work here in like 15 minutes. I'm also watching TV on my laptop. Don't mind me. But I am planning on starting with Lover Arisen by J.R. Ward, which is the 6th book, I believe, in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, which is a paranormal romance series. So that is what I'm planning on kicking it off with. I did get that audiobook in. And then I have a couple other books. I know I have Holding Pattern by Jenny Shih as an audiobook, which I was going to read for the purple prompt, purple on the cover, which I believe is the double agent prompt. And Black Dagger Brotherhood is going to be my romantic suspense. So that's what I have lined up for right now. I do have to go to work today, so I don't know how much I'm actually going to get read today, but I do also, I'm judging high school mock trial this afternoon. So that is 5:30 to 8:30, I think. So I don't know how much reading I'm going to be able to do in between things or during things or whatever, but I am planning on just sort of like having a sneaky read here or there for that. But yes, come with me on this 5-day vlog where I try to read as much as I possibly can. So if you are interested in that, stay tuned and I will see you shortly. Hello, it's Friday night. I'm sitting on the couch with Marvel and Murphy. Matt is out, so I'm about to watch Sex Education. I watched the first season when it first came out, and then I watched the second season. I started watching the second season when it came out on Netflix, and I got like a couple episodes into the second season, but I never kept watching it because Matt and I were watching it together originally, and then when the second season came out, he was like, I don't really care about watching it. So then I was watching it by myself, and then I just wasn't prioritizing it. But I rewatched the first season and up to where I was in season 2, and now I'm like part of the way into season 3. I think I'm on season 3, episode 3. So anyways, I know you don't care about that, but that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm about to do. I just finished Lover Enshrined by J.R. Ward, which is the 6th book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. You guys, I think my time with this series is over. I think this is the last full-length novel I'm going to read. I have one of the novellas, which is less than 100 pages, on my TBR this month for a different readathon that I'm doing, so I'm probably going to read that for that, and then I'm going to be done. Because I just don't care about any of these. I gave this book 2.5 stars. I rounded it up. I just don't care anymore. This is a vampire paranormal romance series. It's about this group called the Black Dagger Brotherhood, who are the vampire like warriors, and they are in a war with this group of former humans who have sold their souls to be what's called lessers. And basically it's good versus evil, right? The vampires are good, the lessers are evil, and they're trying to battle it out. The thing is, the romance, like each of these books follows a particular romance. So it follows usually one of the brothers and their romance, right? With whoever they're going to be with. And the books keep having like a lot of interesting topics that could come up that the author is just like introducing and then immediately taking away. And I'll give you 2 examples. So one of the books follows this guy Vicious, who the book before the book that is his, you find out that he has feelings for another guy in the like brotherhood or whatever, like one of their friends. And immediately his book is about him falling in love with a woman. And it doesn't really explore that dynamic. Like it doesn't really address that he's bi. In fact, it kind of like says that he's not, even though he had these feelings for this guy. So that was frustrating. And then this book followed a character named Fury, and there's this thing that happens where Fury has to go and be what's called the Primale, and he is supposed to go to this coven of women called the Chosen. They're vampires, female vampires, who are separate from the rest of the vampire world, and the Chosen historically have had the vampire children. And so Fury is supposed to mate with all of them, and it could have been this like interesting coven situation, and spoiler alert, it's not. I'm just sick of like these interesting things being brought up and then immediately taken away. Also, I don't feel like J.R. Ward does a very good job in most of these books with like making you care about the relationship or the characters. I haven't cared about any of the characters since Sadist's book, which was book 3. So the other problem that I have with the series is when these brothers were first introduced, each of them has their like quirks, but they're also like, they're all supposed to have distinct personalities. But in the book, whatever brother is being focused on, he is suddenly like moody, grumpy, mean, and just like not fun to read about, I guess. Like it feels like they lose their personality in the book that's focused on them. And I think what J.R. Ward was trying to do is like give them some sort of like internal struggle to go through, but it just made all of their personalities the same. And like they can all be going through their own thing without all turning into like the same macho alpha male asshole. And so I'm just over it. But that was the first book that I read for this readathon. I did finish it today, just now. I literally finished it and started filming this clip. The other books that I'm planning on reading for this readathon that are immediately on the docket because I have them, I'm going to read Holding Pattern by Jenny Shih, which is a book about a woman who, I believe her relationship fell apart. She's an adult Asian American woman. Her mom was an immigrant. I can't remember what country her mom was from, but this woman's like memories of her mom growing up are that her mom always wanted to go back to whatever country she was from and like didn't really like American culture and like Western culture. And now the mom is engaged to be married to a tech guy in Silicon Valley, and her daughter, who's an adult, has to move back in with her mom. And so it's about their relationship and like dealing with the fact that they are both so different than their like core memories of each other, if that makes sense. So I'm excited to read that one. And the other book that I know I'm going to read is Contempt by Ken Starr, which I think the subtitle is A Memoir of the Clinton Investigation. And that book is a nonfiction book about different scandals that the Clintons went through that Ken Starr investigated them for, I believe, when Bill was president. I think I said in my TBR that I thought it happened before he became president. I think some of the scandals are things that happened prior to Bill Clinton being president, but they weren't addressed until his impeachment proceedings. So I mentioned also in my TBR video, this is a period of history that I was alive for, but I don't really remember anything from because I wasn't paying attention to the president. I think I was like 5, 4, but I am excited to read this one. Just to put it into perspective, the first presidential election that I remember was W's second time running. So, if that makes sense. I think that was 2004. We had like an election day at school and stuff. I think I was in like 1st or 2nd grade. But 3rd grade? How old was I in 2004? I would have been 9. So, however, whatever grade you're in when you're 9. Anyways, that's my update. I will let you know when I have progress on those things. Some updates for the weekend, because I am hoping to get quite a lot of reading done this weekend, but I don't know how it's going to go. I am auditioning for Pippin tomorrow, so I need to drink lots of water because I think I sound like I'm losing my voice. But Pippin's a musical. I did musical theater in high school, and there are local theaters near me that do auditions, so I'm gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna get anything, but I think it'll be fun. I want to do it once and see how big of a time commitment it really ends up being. Rehearsals won't start until like May, but they're doing auditions now, so that's exciting. And if I get a callback, that will be on Sunday. So that's potentially my weekend planned. We're babysitting my niece and nephew tomorrow night, and then my sister and her husband might come back and hang out at our house when they are done with their date night, and we might play a game or something. And then on Sunday morning, before Pippin callbacks, if you even get a callback, I'm going to be going to brunch, I think, with one of my coworkers. So I have kind of a busy weekend planned, which is exciting, but also not very conducive to reading a lot. So this Black Dagger Brotherhood book has like not put me in a slump, but almost. So I am going to watch an episode of Sex Education and then see how I'm feeling for the rest of the night. But anyways, I just wanted to give you that update because I am finished with it. 2.5 stars. I'm running it up to 3 on Goodreads, but kind of a dud to start the month out with. Hello. I think I'm updating this vlog from the same place as yesterday, but it is Saturday. Well, I guess it's Sunday now. It's just after midnight, and we are babysitting my niece and nephew. My sister and brother-in-law just came by to pick them up, so that is why this update is coming to you so late. But I did finish Holding Pattern by Jenny Shih, and I ended up giving it 4 stars on Goodreads. Realistically, it's like a 3.5 star for me, but I think I went into it with the wrong expectations. So I think I said that it was like a contemporary romance. It's tagged as on Goodreads, but I don't think it actually is either of those things. I think it's more of like just general fiction. It does follow a mother-daughter relationship. It also spends quite a bit of time in the past of Kathleen, who is the daughter. So it talks about her like high school experience with her mom and her mom's alcoholism, her parents' marriage falling apart when she was much younger, her like tenuous relationship with her mom and where it all sort of began, I guess, which I did really like, not enjoy, that's the wrong word, but like I did find that very interesting. I just think for me, this book is one of those books, those like general fiction lit fic books that doesn't have a lot of like plot, that's like heavy, it's not heavily plot driven. It's just like a snapshot, days in the life, I guess, kind of book. And I don't hate that, but I wasn't expecting that with this. I was expecting a more plotted story. Also, the daughter, Kathleen, ends up dropping out of graduate school at the beginning of this when her relationship with her ex-fiance falls apart. And she moves back in with her mom in Oakland, California. Her mom is going to marry this guy, Brian, who's like a tech entrepreneur. And Kathleen just basically feels like a failure, right? So she ends up getting a job at this place called Midas Touch, I think. And it's essentially like a new age health startup. But the premise is that people go and you get like a cuddle buddy. And so she becomes a cuddle buddy and people pay to cuddle with her. And it also like focuses on the relationship she sort of builds with one of the guys there, but it's not really a romantic relationship. It's just like the weird dynamic that they end up getting into. And I did like it. I thought it was interesting, but I just feel like for me, this sounds kind of bad, but like for me to like love a lit fic book, I kind of want there to be like punchy lines and like really great writing. And not that the writing in this book is bad, but to me, it just didn't have the like quality of writing that I would read a plotless story for. And I did like the like plot that happens, but again, there wasn't enough going on to really keep me engaged with that. And I did like the characters a lot, but there wasn't enough character development to really keep me engaged with that. And there wasn't like, I think if this book had been longer, it's less than 300 pages, which I didn't realize going into it. But I kind of wish it had been like a little longer to like further explore some of the ideas that it started with. But that being said, I did enjoy it. And if you are interested, there's a really sweet review on Goodreads from the author's father. And it's just really sweet. So it's like the top review. It's very cute. But anyways, I am once again about to finish an episode of Sex Education. I also auditioned for Pippin this morning, which went well. I got a call back for tomorrow. The callback is for Band of Players, which is like the ensemble kind of, I think. I'm not very familiar with Pippin, but I'm going to go to that. It's the dance audition tomorrow, which fingers crossed. I haven't danced in a long time. And even when I did, I was not like super great. So we'll see, but that's fine. I have that tomorrow afternoon, and I also am going to brunch with a coworker tomorrow morning. So those are my plans for tomorrow. Hopefully I will be able to get a good chunk of the way through Contempt by Ken Starr, because it's the other audiobook that I have. And then from there, I might try to read The Key to Happily Ever After by Tiff Marcello, which I believe is another like contemporary book. It's about three sisters who are trying to save their family's wedding planning business. I don't know much more about it than that, but those are my plans currently. And I will let you know when I have another read. Hello, it is officially the 5th, which means that it's the last day for this readathon. This 5-day thing flew by for me, but I did manage to finish, what's it called? Contempt by Ken Starr. I gave it 3 stars. Obviously I learned some things that I didn't know, and it was good to see the whole like investigation side from his point of view. I do think that he was like biased, as I predicted, but also very self-righteous. And I don't know, it's part of what bothers me about Bill Clinton's impeachment is that it revolves around discussions of his relationship with Monica Lewinsky. Basically, he said under oath that he did not have a relationship with Monica Lewinsky, which means he perjured himself. And that's why this special investigation was launched, to see if he actually did have a relationship with Monica Lewinsky. But Ken Starr in this book acts like he didn't do anything to harm Monica Lewinsky when he absolutely did. Like, she was, what really bugs me is she was like 22, 23 years old when this all was happening. And it just feels icky to like make that the center of an investigation. I understand that like they were both lying about their relationship and Bill Clinton lied under oath about it, which you can't do. But just the way that Ken Starr allowed the media to drag Monica Lewinsky's name through the mud really doesn't sit right with me still. And I know that he's not like solely responsible for that, but he in this book tries to act like he didn't have any part of it, which is not true. But I mean, I am glad that I read this book because I like I'm trying to learn more about like historical events, especially historical events that happened during my lifetime that I don't know a ton about. So I am glad that I read it for that reason. I am now about 60% of the way through the audiobook of A Curse So Dark and Lonely, I think is what it's called, the Bridget Kemmerer book, and I'm liking it. So this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it follows, what are the characters' names? I think the prince is Wren, don't quote me on that. Then his like captain of the guard or whatever is Gray, and the girl is Harper. And so essentially Harper lives in our world in Washington, D.C., and she has cerebral palsy. And Wren has this curse where he relives the same season of his life until he can get someone to fall in love with him. Very Beauty and the Beast-esque. But he is not actually physically a beast. He just turns into a monster if he can't get the girl to fall in love with him, and then he destroys and kills people and things, I think is like what's going on. And the first people he killed were his family. So that's like a big part of this book, is that his family is all dead and it was at his hand. And so he feels really guilty for that. And this is his last chance to break this curse. So Gray goes into the human world to try to get, or to our world. They're not human, whatever. Gray goes into our world to try to get a woman for Wren, I think is his name, to try to get her to fall in love with him. He ends up getting Harper on accident, kind of, and she is like very headstrong, very suspicious of this whole thing, and quickly like they form almost like a tentative friendship amongst the three of them. And I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, obviously. I mean, I have my suspicions because it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but I'm excited to see where it's going, and it is a fresh look at Beauty and the Beast. I do like Beauty and the Beast a lot. Just a caveat about myself, like that's one of my favorite Disney movies. So I am enjoying this book. I really like Harper as a character. I really like Gray as a character. And I really think Wren is an interesting character. And we've also met Lilith, who is the witch that cursed Wren however long ago. So I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping that I like the ending, and I think it's a trilogy. I'm not sure if the trilogy follows the same characters or if they're retellings of different stories or really how that goes, but at this point, I'm tentatively going to continue this series at some point. As you can probably imagine, I had really lofty plans for this readathon, but I think I'm going to cut my losses and just focus on finishing this book. And then I might pick up the other books that I put on this readathon's TBR at the end of the month when I'm done with the second readathon that I'm doing this month. So I will come back and let you know how the end of the first Curse Breakers book goes for me. But that's my update for right now. I just got home from work. It's Monday. My voice is pretty scratchy. I don't feel sick, but I feel like I'm losing my voice. So, yeah, I'm gonna cook dinner in a little bit and just chill out until Matt gets home from work. And then I will hopefully finish this book before the night is up. I think I have probably like 2 hours of listening left. So I can probably do that while I'm doing dinner and then just before bed. And hopefully I will have some final thoughts for you in a little bit, and then I can close this vlog out. Hello. It's now Thursday, so this video has to go up today. So I'm gonna edit it together, but I have to go to work here in a minute. I wanted to update this vlog because I did finish A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I am curious to see how the rest of the series is gonna go. I don't know that I'm like dying to pick up the next one. Like I probably won't pick it up for a while, but I am glad that I read it. I do like Bridget Kemmerer's writing style. I do think it was like an interesting twist on the Beauty and the Beast tale. Not my favorite thing I've ever read, but definitely like very highly enjoyable for me. And I would recommend it if you like fantasy and if you have liked YA fantasy. I mentioned this before, I like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I enjoyed that aspect of it as well. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this vlog. Thank you so much for watching it. If you made it to this point, leave a rose emoji in the comments down below, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!